Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. I'm your host as always, Jonathan Giles. A very Merry Christmas to everyone on this special Christmas Eve podcast. On the show this week we'll be reviewing our 1-1 draw against fellow title challengers Liverpool. So sit back and enjoy the show. On the show this week, it's a 1-2 between myself and Eamonn and Jonathan. How are you, Eamonn?
Eamonn and Jonathan. The weather outside is frightful there. The sky isn't a bit delightful. Too many clouds in it. I'm good. I'm as good as could be expected. After that kind of coronary roller coaster, that was last night's game. We're okay. So
there's
hanging together by a thread, if you must know. But look, we press on,
Hanging on by a thread is good enough for me.
This Arsenal supportership, takes resilience.
It takes dedication, Eamonn.
It takes resilience and great moral courage. As you know.
Especially on Christmas Eve afternoon.
Yes, we have Eamonn, the other Eamonn on the show.
It's good to have you on, Eamonn. Cheers, thanks for coming on, and a happy Christmas to all our fellow Arsenal supporters.
Absolutely. I just want to, in all seriousness, Jonathan, I just want to echo that, and all of the people who listen to us and all of your loved ones have a peaceful Christmas, and take some time out for yourself, and have a prosperous new year. I just want to say that.
Cheers, Eamonn. Yeah, I echo that as well. Yeah, it's been a quick year, but another year of doing the podcast completed. So happy days. We head into our third year next year, all going well. So we're going from strand to strand with all those thousands of listeners we have. So without further ado, we'll kick on into yesterday's Premier League review. Against Liverpool at Anfield, 1-1. Gabriel after 4 minutes got us off to a great start. I thought we started really well, and then Salah after just on the half-hour mark got Liverpool's equaliser. I thought there would have been a lot more goals in it, but I was happy enough with 1-1. A draw at Anfield is always a good result against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. A few notes to hand. I thought Odegaard's free kick into Gabriel was just brilliant. I think we've the most assists now for goals in the Premier League. A beautiful free kick and really well headed in by Gabriel. I thought Gabriel and Saliba had a really good game in defence yesterday. The difference Saliba made compared to when he was missing in April was huge. I thought he played really well. I thought Salah gave Zinchenko an awful time of it yesterday. A complete mismatch really. For Salah's goal, I thought Zinchenko should have really showed him down the line, but he let him cut in. And I think Zinchenko just a bit weak, and I think he was probably a bit, you could say, afraid of Salah. Salah's movement it's tricky enough to but you can't put the blame. Zinchenko's been brilliant all season. You look, and when you go to Anfield, it's it's just one of those arenas where it gets the better of you sometimes. I didn't think David Raya had a chance with the goal. I thought hands down it was a top finish. Salah seems to always score against us. I never know a fixture that he hasn't. In fairness, I thought Alexander-Arnold, his passing all day was class for Liverpool. Just his range of passing. He's in another league of his own. But I thought near the end of the first half, when Saka went around Alisson and it came to Martinelli, I thought if he took a first time he might have scored. I just thought that when he slipped, it was just a chance gone, sadly. And that could have been different. It could have been a different game if we went in the lead. The whinging going on with some Liverpool fans about the Saka push on Tsimikas, I think that was just Saka's physicalness. I think it was a 50-50, and I think Tsimikas just wasn't strong enough. There was no maliciousness in it, the way Klopp was going on about. But in terms of the second half, Gomez went close for Liverpool straight after the second half started, which we were lucky enough that didn't go in. I thought the foul on Havertz inside the box near the end of the second half, close to the end, Henry, the push by Alexander-Arnold, I've seen them given. And when you look at the replays, I thought that was a penalty because he had Kanate and then Alexander just brushed into him. I think that should have been, and if that was down the other end, I guarantee it probably would have been given. We were probably quite lucky with the corner we had when Salah broke away and gave it to Alexander-Arnold with the crossbar. But I thought a draw was probably a fair result for both sides. Top of the table on Christmas Day, you can't get any better. And we move on to West Ham, but I was quite happy enough with yesterday's performance. I thought compared to April, we weren't afraid, going to big teams now. Eamon, what was your opinion on the game yesterday?
Well, first of all, it was one of the best games of football anybody could want to watch.
Yeah.
And I've been in touch with some of my Liverpool pals, and the difference to the shit show that was United Park and the bus there last week and sucking the life out of a game. We went up there to play. We went up there to win the game against a team that are really, really strong at home. You have no idea what it's like up there. Anybody who hasn't been to Anfield as an away fan, it's there's an energy about the place. And you could see both teams have played at a very high level, I thought. Both teams did.
Yeah.
And I just think that we approached the game very, very, very bravely. Like the way we started the game, we were on the front foot. And our mutual friend, the human shaving brush, Johnny Gugu, Johnny Gugu texted me before the game saying, "We're just seeing the players getting off the team bus. They're all a bag of nerves." I think that's called focus. Our players are focused, I think far from the players being a bag of nerves, I think we're a bag of nerves. They're focused, there's a difference.
Yeah.
So if you look at the game itself, the few incidents that you referenced there, firstly, we got away with one on the handball, right?
Yeah.
Now, in real time, and I can tell you this because the incident was witnessed. A mate of mine had texted me, a Liverpool fan, who's a very shrewd analyst of the game. And the only comment he had at half-time was that was 100% the penalty, and I rang him and I ate him out of it. I absolutely devoured him on the basis that, and that wouldn't be like me. On the basis that the only comment he had to make after 45 minutes of exhilarating football was that was a penalty. Now, in real time, I think you could see clearly Odegaard was slipping. So if you're going to slip over, what's the first thing you do? You put your hand down. So I was kind of with Gary Neville on that, but I have to be honest, on reflection, if that had been given, it wouldn't have surprised me, right? Yeah. And if it had happened up the other end, we'd have been screaming for it, right? Now, the penalty that you referenced, I actually agree with you. There's been very little noise about that, but that to me looked as if it was in, a foul in the box. Yeah. So look, I don't think either thing would have changed the game. So then, if you square off on chances created, they probably had the better chance clearly with Alexander-Arnold, which was of our own making, right? But it was like that was one moment, and we're playing the game with great control these days. But that was one moment where we were like a Rolls Royce being driven by Laurel and Hardy, But it was Laurel and Hardy stuff in the middle of the pitch, right? But how quick was William Saliba getting back?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
he was like an Olympic runner,
Yeah.
And by the way, when that ball landed at Salah's feet, Arsenal players could have just decided nothing we can do about this.
Yeah.
But they got back, at breakneck speed, and it did make a difference because it made Salah push the ball slightly wider than he needed to.
Yeah.
For Alexander-Arnold, and the ball then took a bobble because it took longer to get to him, and all of that. But then again, like our chance there with Martinelli, was an open goal. I mean, even though you say that he should have maybe hit it first time. The slip actually put him in a better position because the goalkeeper was on the flat of his arse, right?
Yeah, true, yeah.
He two fellas on the line that can't handle the ball. He's only got to pass that in.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think there was two big chances in the game, but I think they might have had, you know, the more clear-cut chance. But I think we created better situations. You know, we had good situations. For their goal, I think it was a brilliant pass by Alexander-Arnold, and you don't want to you don't want to take that away. Michael D. Higgins says hello, by the way. Yes, indeed. I am the President of Ireland, wearing a Santa Claus hat. Whistle the whirling wind. There you go. Happy Christmas, Michael D.
Thanks,
but anyway,
thanks, Michael, for your Christmas message.
Like, you don't want to take away anything from Trent Alexander-Arnold's pass.
Yeah.
But I mean, Zinchenko's got completely flat-footed underneath it. Yeah. Right? And then, as you say, quite rightly, he's got to show him down the line.
Yeah.
I think the reason why he was such a half-arsed leg that he put out was he was afraid of giving away a penalty.
Yeah.
But he got his body shape to defend that situation all askew. Yeah. Right? You could see Gabriel pointing to him, showing down the line. But then again, Gabriel probably could have maybe doubled up the way they did. You know?
The more you look at it,
But again, look, that's what you get with Zinchenko. I mean, the Laurel and Hardy bit in the middle of the pitch, the total failure to defend that situation properly. But yet in the last 20 minutes, he was at the heart of all the good stuff that we did. Yeah. So you've got to. It's give and take with him. I love him as a player. Yeah. What impressed me most about the Arsenal was this, right? I just, in my notes, I wrote down a few recent games that I can remember. 2 4-0s, 2 5-1s.
Yeah.
And then I got back to when we had a great defence. Adams, Bowell, Keown. We allowed Robbie Fowler to score a hat-trick in 15 minutes. I can also recall Patrick Vieira and Robert Perez and those boys shipping a 4-0 defeat at Anfield, right? So, you know, it's a place that we've traditionally collapsed in, right? Yeah. So, and there was a period in the game, right, say, from maybe 50 minutes to 65, 70 minutes, where they were like a tornado. And we were giving the ball away in bad areas. And you could see Klopp on the sideline. He was loving it. He knew they had us in a stranglehold. But we managed to get back into the game through control. We regained control of it. And that's something that I hadn't seen Arsenal doing. We didn't capitulate. We regained control. And I have to tell you, I wasn't on tenterhooks for the last 15 minutes. In fact, I felt if anybody was going to go on and win the game, it was going to be us. You know? Yeah. So, Declan didn't. I was saying to John Maley at half time, we need more from Declan. Boy, Jesus, we got more in the second half. He was unbelievable, you know. Yeah, he was 10 out of 10. Yeah. Look, it's a good point, and I think again, my Liverpool mate said, yeah, but we'd have preferred somebody to win the game because the way Man City are lurking around. I don't think it's that type of league this year. If you look at it, you know, Liverpool went to Man City, took points. Tottenham went to Man City, took points. Yeah. We gone to Liverpool, taking a point. Liverpool dropped points home to Man United, and all of that stuff. There's a lot more of that going on. Villa took points up Man City and all that. Yeah. So in the end, a very good point, a very good game. And don't forget, like, it shows you how far we've come with Klopp's message to the fans during the week saying, you know, if you're not going to make this a cauldron, you know, give your ticket away. Yeah. Like, he knows that he was facing a really good Arsenal side. Yeah. And I think there's been a bit of tension between Klopp and Arteta. But if you look at the gestures at the end of the game, I think both of them realised that two really good teams had gone at it in a really good game of football. In relation to the Saka incident, that's bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, all he's done is wheeled the player. There's no intent there whatsoever. He's tried to wheel him and get away from him. Unfortunately, the lad fell awkwardly. Saka was just trying to wheel him and get an advantage. The other thing my Liverpool mate said to me was that he said he hadn't seen too much of Arsenal this year, but he didn't realise how physical we'd become.
Yeah.
Particularly Saka. And I said,
Martin,
I said, that's because Saka, everybody has license to kick Saka off the park, and he has to deal with that. And he got a few whacks yesterday as well, but he's able to stand up for himself, that boy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just looking at him yesterday. He's gone really physically well built, hasn't he? He's like a tank.
Yeah.
He's as you said earlier on the season, he's a strong boy, yeah. It was just an unfortunate instance with Tsimikas. I think Klopp was making a big deal, I think because he got cleaned out as well.
In fairness to him, and I'm down on Klopp for the way he berates everybody and a lot, but in fairness to him, after the game he said it was too close for him to see. He was just annoyed that he got whacked himself, So,
Yes, it was. I think, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, Eamon, though. The last time we won at Anfield, Mikel Arteta was part of the squad when we won 2-0.
2-0, yeah.
Cazorla and
Podolski and Cazorla, as I understand. Yeah, I remember that game. I watched that in a bar in Greece, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, going that far back? Yeah, but I think Diaby was brilliant that day. What a player he was. But yesterday, even when Arteta in the interview afterwards, he says, "We're really pleased and we went to Anfield with no fear. We played our game and didn't.
Actually, you mentioned Diaby. Declan Rice is a fit Diaby.
Yeah. That was Diaby's role, wasn't it?
He's a fit Diaby. Like poor old Diaby's problem was he could never stay fit. But he was a tremendous player.
Yeah. That injury against Sunderland ruined him, wasn't it? That was. Yeah, it was a shocking tackle. Yeah, he had a big future. I think he was going to be the next year. He had that
type of player, but he would have had that presence. Yeah.
Yes. No, it was really. Do you think that point against Liverpool, Eamon? Do you think that was more of a point earned for us than I think Liverpool? That was really a loss to them. The way they were talking yesterday.
Yeah, I think they felt. I think they felt that they really needed to win the game. I think we went to win the game, but kind of felt, well, if we play and we come out with something from the game, job done.
Yeah. We play Liverpool the first weekend of January in the Cup, and then the first weekend of February.
The main message for me is we played without fear, and when we were getting swamped, we didn't cave. We got control back,
We did, because in past years at Anfield, when Salah scored that equaliser, it could have been one of those years, as you mentioned, 4 or 5-1, but this team has got resilience.
There was one day we were in, I think it was the Grand Social when the supporters club were there, and
the connection went.
Yeah. We were 1-0 up. Ainsley, Maitland, Niles had scored. By the time it came back on, we were 2-1 down. That bloody Firmino fella.
And if I'm right, Eamon, I think he might be coming back there in January because he's playing in Saudi Arabia now. Liverpool are don't offer him just a month, but I don't think. And we played them at the start of February, so I really hope he's gone home with that.
Liverpool don't need any adjustment to their front five. I tell you where they're weak. We, except for 20 minutes in that game, we controlled the midfield area.
Yeah.
We
did, yeah. I thought Odegaard was really good yesterday, yeah.
Odegaard, yeah. And funny enough, he was really poor for the 20 minutes that we were, but he got his composure back.
Yeah.
And he was really good for the last 20 minutes,
Yeah, it's as you said, if that penalty was given against him, his head could have went down. But yeah, as you said, we would have been crying out at the other end. So yeah, I think it draws a fair. I think going to Anfield, if we get anything at Anfield, yeah.
And there's nobody that I've met on either side who didn't say that a draw was the fair result,
Yeah, and as you said at the start, Eamon, even as a neutral, it was a cracking game of football, wasn't it? Yeah,
unbelievable game of football.
Yeah, end to end, compared to that rubbish United played last Sunday, yeah. It shows how badly United have gone that they have to do a game like that at Anfield.
I watched a bit of them yesterday at the Urns, and
they were really poor, weren't they?
They can't score goals,
No, and they're making silly errors, that's just silly. And it's going to Anfield. Like I think it could be possibly between ourselves, Liverpool and City when it comes down to the bread and butter by March time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
How
think
do you
so.
feel, just briefly, Eamon, looking forward to the game at the start of February? Do you see yourselves kind of in pole position to win that game after seeing what we saw yesterday?
Well,
You'd fancy it, wouldn't you?
no, I just think that the way we're approaching games, it's different than last season.
Yeah.
It's not as it's not as you know,
Fast flowing.
roller coaster, emotional tornado stuff. But there's definitely more control, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, last year was so exhilarating, Deirdre. Last year, but last year was like we played on octane and emotion. This year we're playing in a very, very controlled way, and that's why the game. And I'll finish on this. That's why the game yesterday was different to the draw on Anfield. Like we were disappointed with the draw on Anfield in April, but we were playing against a Liverpool side that was really, really in a state of flux. They weren't good at that time. They're different to Liverpool now.
They're a
This is
different
a new
animal.
version of Liverpool now. In fact, do you know what? I'd say Liverpool fans might get a bit insulted. Liverpool are probably where we were this time last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad show, Eamon, yeah.
No?
Yeah. Yeah, it's only to be top on Christmas Day. Psychologically, it's a big thing going into the next game. But look what happened last year. Like being top.
I
think there's a lot of pressure on the players, as you said. Do you think these players that we have learned from that?
Well, look, I first of all, if you listen to Bukayo Saka's interview, he said title. He says it's too early to be talking about title.
Yeah. Compared to
but at the same time, I have the original Johnny Giles approach to this. Isn't it better to be a point ahead and 2 points behind?
Yeah.
There's no other way of looking at
it.
Like it's the same as this nonsense about 2-0 is the worst lead in football. No, it's not. 2-1 is a lot worse.
Yeah.
No, if 2-0 is the worst league in football, keep it at 1-0. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It was a cracking game of football, and a nice way to bring into Christmas, being top of the table. Your man of the match from yesterday, Eamon?
I'm going to go with the television on this. I thought William Saliba, he's 22 years of age, and we have at our club one of the world's great defenders.
Yeah.
And he was outstanding yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding. And as was Gabriel, and as was Ben White, you know.
Yeah, I thought he had a solid game, actually, White,
Ben had a very solid game, and then Declan in the second half was just like, he was like something out of Roy the Rovers, you know. Yeah. Declan doesn't give the ball away.
No. I very rarely see him make a false pass, a bad pass, or a bad. Yeah, he just covers. Yeah. He just cleans up so well, doesn't he? Like he just cleans up that mess. And
well, it was interesting what Saka was saying about him, how he's improved the team.
Yeah,
Saka was saying that he gets on the ball a lot, breaks up a lot of stuff, and gets it forward early.
Yeah,
simple.
That's what we were saying last week, wasn't it? He starts attacks like he refuses to be beaten. Yeah, I think one game that epitomised that. I think you were saying yourself when we won 1-0 at Brentford. It was his. It was just he didn't want to lose.
He wasn't accepting a point that day, you know.
Yeah.
There you go. That was Anfield. It's out of the way now, thankfully.
Out of the way, yeah. We only have to play them twice more now in the next month or so. We'll be sick of looking at them.
Them games are our place. It's different playing Liverpool or Anfield.
Yeah, it is. It's different, isn't it? Yeah, as you said, I've never been lucky enough, Eamon, what you were saying at the start of the show, to be at Anfield. Have you been there many times watching Arsenal play there?
I've only been twice, but you know,
Isn't it an incredible atmosphere being at Anfield? Like,
it's noisy, all right. Yeah. It is. It's noisy, and don't be fooled by this. And Liverpool fans are the most knowledgeable fans in the game, and they appreciate the opposition and all that. They do not. They'd rob the milk out of your tea. Yeah. Oh, I
I
enjoyed
feel
my
her
experience.
the Anfield moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, look, what? Yeah, point from Anfield. Yeah, and it keeps us sitting top for Christmas Day. Yeah, that result, as I said, leaves us top of 40 points. So safety for another season, as you said, Eamon, that magical
We bring
40 points.
safety. Yeah, I wanted to cover that. Yeah.
So we
Although
can move
Jesus,
on
this
now.
year safety be 30 points.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
way it's looking. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a massive win for Luton there yesterday against Newcastle. Yeah,
And then Burnley go and win as well.
yeah,
You
and
know?
Sheffield United get a point. Yeah, it's amazing what one or two results can do. Yeah, it can bring clubs right back into the thick of it again. Yeah, I think top and bottom this year are going to be really interesting, aren't they? The top half and the bottom half.
Yeah, but there's a whole, like you see, I mean, it's an interesting league because you look at Wolves turning over Chelsea today.
Today, yeah.
Every team is capable of doing something, you know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention one more thing about football, and we might just talk very quickly about the West Ham game.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, Jonathan. But
Yeah.
the sending off of the Nottingham Forest player yesterday, Bowley, was disgraceful.
Yeah.
It was disgraceful.
Yeah.
I mean, he's won the ball as cleanly as anything you could ever wish to see, right?
Yeah.
And he gets a second yellow card for it. And I have to say, you know, Forest lost the game, having played with 10 men for most of it. And that decision, how that can stand up, I don't know. And it again, there's always a game in the calendar every week that VAR is the centerpiece.
Yeah.
You know,
There was another game yesterday, Eamon, the Everton Spurs one, where Everton had a goal, I think, disallowed when the referee had given it, and then VAR went back. And as Sean Dyche says, let the ref be a ref. If he's happy with that decision, let it, it's...
Well, you see, look, there's a couple of things I meant to say in relation to our game that's related to that. First of all, the problem with the handball law is nobody knows what it is, right?
Yeah.
So the handball law should be restricted to two conditions: one, deliberate, or two, blocking an attempt heading towards the goal.
Yeah.
And otherwise, so if it's not deliberate and it doesn't block an attempt heading towards the goal, it's not handball, and we'd be all better off, right? That's the first thing, and then the second thing is when should VAR intervene, right? That foul that happened a good few seconds before the goal, and it's called back. This in the same way as Martinelli's goal against Man United at Old Trafford last season was chalked off. Let the referee bloody well referee it and use the VAR for incidents in the box or offsides.
Or offside, yeah.
Right? It's ridiculous. And I'm not just saying that because it's Tottenham. I'm just saying it's.
But as you said, Eamon, you made a good point on several shows that when you look at the European leagues, VAR doesn't be the centerpiece. It seems to work in other leagues.
Because it's not Hollywood. It's Hollywood in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the other thing I meant to reference is, again, from yesterday, another fine performance from Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
He was really, really good and smart on the ball, you know.
He was closing down the Liverpool defenders really quickly, wasn't he? You could see a hunger in him. Yeah, I think he was quite unlucky with that penalty incident. On other days, I think that would have been given,
Yeah.
But look, we came out Anfield with a point better off.
West Ham now on Thursday.
Yeah, Eamon, yeah. West Ham, they won 2-0 there against United yesterday. 30 points now. They're really having a good season. They're in 6th position.
They are, but they're very, very strong at home, Jonathan.
Yeah. When away from home, they're quite weak. I was at that game, I think it was this time last year, actually, when we won 3-1. It was right back after the World Cup break.
They were ahead at half time.
That's right, a penalty, wasn't it? Benrahma. Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then they scored 3 goals in 15 minutes, yeah. Their signings, the money they got for Rice, their signings have been quite good.
Alvarez, Paqueta, is it that lad, the playmaker? Yeah, he's a tidy player. Yeah,
I was there last year, Eamon, at the Emirates, and himself and Rice were the two players that really impressed me. you know, really close, good on the ball. Typical Brazilian, you know. I've never seen really a bad Brazilian, really. How do you see the game going towards yourself, Eamon?
Well, I'm going myself to that game.
Lovely.
It's a
Yeah.
nighttime game, 8:15 kickoff.
Yeah.
Atmosphere will be electric.
Yeah.
Again, it's a bit like the Brighton game, Jonathan. If we do our best stuff and they do their best stuff, we win the game.
Simple as that.
No, because we've better players on the pitch. But you know, they're a plucky side. They don't have a great record at our place.
No, they don't. No.
Yeah.
I think the last time they won at the Emirates might have been when we first were there, probably Zamora. I think was that 1-0. I don't remember many other times.
I'll tell you when they won because I was actually in the corporate entertainment for the day because we brought my dad over and we went corporate for the day to keep him comfortable because he's in his 80s, and it was just after Petr Cech had signed for us.
Ah, yeah.
So the season, the season after Leicester won the league, we played them on the opening day of the season.
Yeah,
and they beat us 2-0 that day. Yeah.
Cech had a checkmate to Howlers, didn't he, in that game?
Yeah, he tried to punch a free kick coming in and missed it completely. Yeah. I think that's the last time they've beaten us in our place, you know.
Yeah, it's remember that actually. Yeah,
that'll be August 15. So hopefully that'll continue. And
yeah.
Although I do have a soft spot for the Irons, you know.
Yeah, you were saying that.
I love the fact that they come up to our place and they chant, "We hate Tottenham more than you." I think that's quite witty, you know.
Yeah, actually applaud fellow fans. Yeah, I think every London team hate Spurs. Yeah, but I have to say, Postecoglou, fair play to him with the amount of injuries they have. He has.
Yeah, but they strike me as a team.
This year, Eamon, sorry for cutting across you. It seems to be more of a team effort, doesn't it? There's not one player. He has them working as a unit.
No, look, they're and do you know what? And Arsenal fans can kick me in the arse for saying they're actually good. They're a good watch.
They are actually, yeah.
But the one thing I noticed about them is like they score a lot of early goals, Jonathan. Right?
Yeah.
And if they don't do that, they seem to turn it towards the end. I mean, Everton played them off the pitch for the last 25 minutes yesterday. Yeah, absolutely played them off the pitch. You know.
Yeah. I have to say one thing about Everton and for Fan Neil League and Dyche has been playing really well, hasn't he, over the last week?
Everton are a decent side, you know.
Yeah. I have to say, Dwight McNeil looks a different player in the last 5 games, doesn't he? He's getting on the ball and he's turning. And Dwight McNeil.
Oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
I was actually talking to a toffee pal of mine, and I was saying, Jesus H. Christ, where did you pick him up from? The League of Ireland or something? No disrespect to the League of Ireland, which I don't know. Maybe that was an inappropriate comment, you know. The League of Ireland players are very good, but you know, the Leinster Junior League. He looked terrible, you know. Yeah. But Jesus, in the last few weeks, he's really turned a new page, you know.
I think that 10-point deficit Everton got, Eamon, that's given them a new lease of life, hasn't it? It's put a fire in them to prove the Premier League.
It reminds me of you'll be too young to remember. You'd know about it, but be too young to remember. In 1990, the 1990-91 season, when we were docked 2 points, you know, we played with a kind of a siege mentality after that.
Yeah.
You know, and we were relentless for the rest of the season, you know. We went up to United and beat them in Old Trafford, and there was a brawl, and we got docked 2 points and they got docked 1.
Was that the year, Eamon, when Rocastle chipped Smigel and it came out back off the cross?
No, that was the following season.
Was it? Yeah.
Rocastle did that, yeah. No, we beat them 1-0 up there. Anders Limpar scored a goal. I don't know whether he meant it or not. It was like a short corner was taken. Yeah. He swung it in and it went in low. The keeper didn't get it off the line. But there was a brawl down by the sideline, which was actually caused by Dennis Irwin, of all people. And then Winterbourne. McClare kicked Winterbourne in the back on the ground. And then Arsenal players stormed in and, you know. And Rocky was among them, you know. Rocky was a tough boy, you know.
Yeah, he was really athletically built, wasn't he, Rocastle?
The one thing, Rocky was a beautiful footballer, but like the one thing that surprised me when I listened to his ex-pro teammates talking about him, like Alan Smith, David Rocastle, what a player he was, and he was tough as nails. He was tough as nails. Yeah, so he was tough as nails. So there you go. So look, I don't think we need. Yeah, I think.
Do you think
West
David
Ham.
Rocastle should have a statue outside the Emirates?
There's lots of players. I mean, he needs to get in the queue. I mean, I think Liam should.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, I was actually reading the book. I've just started reading the book. It's brilliant. Really is a good read, Liam Brady's book.
Read.
Yeah. And just to mention to listeners as well, Eamon Dunphy's to stand as a 2-part episode on Liam Brady's career. And it's definitely well worth a listen. I've started to listen to the 4th one today. Yeah. It's a really good listen.
Very good.
It's up on the stand at the moment. It's 2 episodes back to back.
Yes. Yes. Liam was one of the great players and football men.
Beautiful.
I'm going to drink a glass of red. There we go.
Is there anything you'd like to mention about the supporters club or anything, Eamon, for Christmas?
No. I think we're on. Well, I do. I want to mention the job our secretary Sandra has done. All the committee do a great job, but Sandra in particular with the ticket demands has been nothing short of incredible, and we owe her a lot. And I think she's in the zone now where she just wants to put the curtain down on the supporters club between now and New Year and come back recharged. Okay.
No, I have to say the work that the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club committee, it's really well done over the whole year. There wouldn't be a supporters club without you there. So just a big shout out to yourself, Martin and co.
Martin, who edits the show here, he's great. I mean, he has to do all that editing, while getting through 4 Vienna rolls.
And a few cans of Stiegel. It's not easy. He's well able for it though, these Austrian lads. They're well built.
Top guy.
Yeah, no, I'd just like to, again, as I said at the start of the show, just like to wish everyone associated with the Arsenal Supporters Club and all listeners to have a Merry Christmas, a safe one and an enjoyable one. And we'll have another show now later in the week on Friday for the West Ham review. So on behalf of myself and everyone that works on this podcast, especially Martin, who does 90% of the work, thanks for all your hard work. Martin, have a good Christmas as well. And thanks to Eamon for coming on week to week.
Not at all. Pleasure. Happy Christmas all.
So until Friday, have a great Christmas tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Thank you.
See you all.